Alright, good morning everyone, or I guess, depending on where you are in the world, it's morning for me as I'm recording this. But, yeah, so this guy named Ranting for Vengeance, I've seen this guy before. He was the one who whined about Pedro Pascal being in the new Fantastic Four movie. Well, he made a review about Superman being too woke, and a lot of people think that Superman is apparently too woke. And I'm curious about it. You know, I've been meaning to react to this. So let's just finally get this going. So, for context, I've seen the Superman movie. My thoughts? I thought it was alright. You know, I don't think it was anything too impressive. There were times where I thought the movie was a little bit cheesy. But overall, I couldn't hate it. You know, I couldn't go wrong with it. But this complaint that it's too woke is... I really don't understand where that comes from. I gotta be honest with you. I did not get that vibe from the movie at all. Now, listen. I get that there are complaints about things that, like, are... I get that there are things that can be so woke to the point where it's very annoying and very cringe. I get it. I really do. Dragon Age Veilguard is a good example. It's a video game that was huge. Apparently, I never even heard about it when it was huge. So, like, I had someone else tell me about it. And I looked at some of the scenes. Holy shit. That is... Dragon Age Veilguard is so bad that even people who were LGBTQ said that this is not the way to do representation in a game. Again, that's a whole other can of worms. I think those are valid complaints. But then you have people like Ranting for Vengeance or Synthetic Man. You have all these creators who are anti-woke that complain that things are too woke. Like, yes, things that are overly woke and they do it in such a way that, like, is very fucking annoying. I agree, yes. Just have, like, a gay, non-binary, or trans character and just make them be cool. Don't make it their entire personality. Just say, hey, this character is here, they exist, that's cool. But, like, these people who are anti-woke, you guys are just as bad. Like, the people who are overly woke say yes to everything, and you guys just say no to everything. You guys are just as whiny and just as bad, so it's like you both are two sides of the same coin. Me personally, I think the best example of this representation, or one that I can think of off the top of my head, is this character named Dane from the Fallout TV show. They're a non-binary character that was in the Brotherhood of Steel. They were Maximus's friend, I believe, in the Brotherhood of Steel. And they're a non-binary character, but they don't make being non-binary their entire personality. You probably wouldn't even know that they were non-binary. And they're a cool, badass character, and that's, like, they don't make it their entire personality. They have, like, a whole other backstory. They have, like, a whole other set of things. And I think that's good. That, like, stuff like that is good. I enjoy stuff like that. But it's, like, obviously, and then you have Dragon Age Veilguard, again. But, enough rambling, let's just start this video. So, yeah.
James Gunn's Superman is the worst fucking movie that's ever been made.
Okay, first of all, my guy, what are you doing? Please, use conditioner your hair. What the fuck is this hair, my guy? Please, get some conditioner. You know, straighten out your hair a little more. You're starting to look like fucking Kid Rock if he, like, started taking cocaine.
I stay true to what I said. While it's closed, I'm not giving money to James Gunn, the Freak, or DC. But I did watch Superman fully somehow. And I don't know how they did it, but James Gunn has managed to make the worst superhero movie ever made. Before we go...
I wouldn't say it's the worst superhero movie ever made. I mean, have you seen The Eternals? Apparently, like, yeah, that one was, yeah. Not great. Also, Captain Marvel was also very bad. I really did not enjoy Captain Marvel that much. I think Captain Marvel for me was like a 5 out of 10. It was very mediocre. I thought I think Captain Marvel had a lot of potential, but if it wasn't for fucking Brie Larson having just bad PR, and then, like, I don't know. Captain Marvel to me was just not a good movie. I didn't enjoy it very much.
Any further.
She's also just very boring. I don't know why. Like, Brie Larson's performance just made Captain Marvel extremely boring. And then she wound up not even meaning that much in the actual Avengers movie anyway. Or the Endgame.
Must be warned that this is not hyperbole. This is not rage bait. This movie is a disgrace to filmmaking. And if
you know what's a disgrace to fucking hairstyles is this. My guy, use some conditioner, please. It's a disgrace to your hair. Seems like you're both anti-woke and anti-haircut. or anti-conditioner for that matter.
If you saw the movie and you agree and you want to help out this channel, maybe consider subscribing or supporting me over on Patreon. So
yeah, that's definitely not happening, just to be clear.
there's been a lot of reviews from everybody all across the internet, and I'm gonna be honest, a lot of these people are just lying because they don't want to destroy the movie. People are saying it isn't woke and it isn't even that bad.
It isn't, though. It's not woke at all. I don't know what you're talking about. Please name which part of it is woke. The fact that Superman was like an immigrant? Oh, okay, yeah, they like changed one part of his like backstory. They made him like an immigrant. Whatever. So what, by that logic, every single person that was working during the Industrial Revolution, or every single person that was in, like, America working on the railways, Chinese and Irish immigrants, that's, like, too woke, apparently, stuff that's been in history. Immigration has been in history. If immigration to you is woke, I don't know what to tell you. That's an insane logic there.
Some people are saying it's a 10 out of 10 that's better than Iron Man, Avengers Endgame. And I'm here to tell you that
I don't think anyone went that far. Maybe they did, but like I haven't heard anyone say it was better than Avengers Endgame or like Iron Man. Me personally, I thought this movie was all right. It's not the best Superman movie or superhero movie for that matter that I've seen, but like I couldn't complain. It wasn't that bad. Like I don't know, I'm just not seeing the whole logic of it being too woke.
everybody on all sides of this are lying. Once again, it isn't rage bait. If you watch this movie, try to make out the structure. Who greenlit this script? Is there a beginning, a middle, or even an end? Or are we just
There was definitely a beginning, middle, and end. Did you even, like, watch the movie? You claim you did, but it's like, I feel like you're saying this is not rage bait. Is there even a beginning, middle, and end? But they're like, if you watch the movie, like, fairly and in good faith, you would understand that it does. I'm just like, I get that everyone has their own opinions about movies, and you're entitled to that opinion, but, like, what are you talking about?
Tapped into the worst movie ever created by man. That's exactly what it is. Because from all the trailers, I thought that this movie was going to be terrible, but still a fun time. And there was one fun part that could be excused, which was Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner, which I actually found kind of funny. But other than like 5 seconds of footage where Superman and Lois were acting like they were in an actual Superman movie, this was a piece of crap. And
Okay.
I can't really stress it enough. There's pieces of crap, and then there's this movie. It's really easy for a movie to be bad. Superman, on the other hand, is like The Flash times 1,000. I can't really put
I've never seen The Flash. I can't really give my opinion on that alone.
it into words if you haven't watched this movie. There's no structure. There's no writing. There's no acting.
What are you talking about? There is a structure. There is a beginning, middle, and end. You know, the movie starts off with Superman losing his powers. I will admit, Superman does get beat up more in this movie than any other Superman, like, media piece that I've seen, for sure. But, like, they probably did that just so, like, there would be some level of stakes at play. You know, there's obviously that beginning part where he's at, like, the ice layer. And then there's the middle part where it sets up Lex Luthor and all that stuff. And then you have the climax and the ending. There's like different plot threads that they try to wrap up in the movie. And then to say that there's no acting is very... I think that's an insult to the actors that put a lot of time and effort onto these sets. I don't think Ranting for Vengeance would understand. I can say this because I've worked on filmmaking sets before. Acting is a whole thing. Acting is not an easy job at all. It really is not. For people to say that acting is an easy job, it really is not. The actors have to put themselves in the character. It's a whole process. Sometimes they have to literally become the character. Like, that's a form of method acting, of course, if you want to get technical. It's a whole, like, rabbit hole in conversation we can have. But to, I guess, give, like, an idea... Acting, rehearsal, this is like weeks, sometimes even months of like preparation before the actual shoots begin. And so like it's a whole process. There's like whole different like meetings. There's whole different like things that need to occur before they happen. And like I don't think the actors were bad in this movie. The actors were actually pretty like solid overall in this movie. Like I can appreciate maybe that's just me appreciating like the amount of work that goes into acting and filmmaking in general. But like that's to say that there's no acting in this movie is kind of an insult to the actors, just to be clear. It's very clear that Ranting for Vengeance doesn't really understand that at all.
The CGI is terrible. There's so much comedy, it'll make you want to pluck your own eyes out. Every time
How dare a movie try to be funny?
Superman even comes close to doing anything that's anyway good, he just gets knocked over by a dog.
This literally happens 10 fucking times. I mean, okay. I never really had this bother me in the film. It never took away from the immersion at all, from my point of view. If it takes away from the immersion in your experience, then I guess like everyone's entitled to their opinion. But me personally, I don't think it happens so much to the point where it takes away the immersion from the actual film. And also, Superdog was cool. The dog with like Superman powers. I thought this was a cool addition. I was not really expecting it. But then again, I haven't seen the trailer, so.
Lex Luthor is a stupid analogy for Donald Trump and racism. There's
What? What do you mean? What are you talking about? This is not an analogy for Donald Trump at all. They just based Lex Luthor off of... Okay, I'm sorry. If you're going to say Lex Luthor is an analogy for Donald Trump, then you would have to somehow explain that time travel in real life exists. Because there's no way. Literally, they based Lex Luthor off the comics and off the other... sources that Lex Luthor exists in. And yes, like, obviously they're gonna have some differences in the movie compared to, like, everywhere else. But there is no way... Like, I'm trying to, like, draw the parallel in my head that he is, like, Donald Trump. What are you talking about? There's no way he is, like, Donald... I never got that impression. I don't know where you got this from, I'm gonna be honest.
lesbian girl bosses running around.
What does them being lesbian have to do with anything? What are you talking about? What?
An emphasis on Gen Z and TikTok for some reason.
Kind of. I mean, not. I never really got. I mean, like, listen. They do have to modernize certain aspects of movies, like superhero movies, to an extent, right? I mean, there's newer generations watching them. You know, old people are getting older. It is what it is. Sometimes they have to modernize it a little bit. Obviously, I agree. You can definitely, I wouldn't say you can make the argument that it's oversaturated with it, because it definitely doesn't ruin the experience. But there is a valid concern in oversaturating it with, like, Gen Z / over, too much modern, I guess, Gen Z clique, we'll say. But, like, I don't know, you're acting as if all these little things are ruining the movie. It's definitely not the case. And also, what the fuck does that woman being lesbian have to do with anything? Lesbian in movies bad, I guess? Okay.
Superman is whining for the entire movie. His voice is so high-pitched and the dude never stops screaming and being autistic.
Okay, dude, that's insane. Damn. A little bit of ableism, a little bit of hate to lesbians in movies. Wow, what's next? Are we gonna say that, like, we can't have, what is it, the black guy character or whatever with, like, the drones? I forget his name. I totally forgot his name. But he was cool. I liked that character a lot. He was very badass. That one fight scene at, like, the military base or whatever before they went into the pocket dimension, that was pretty fucking dope. I thought it was so clean and very badass. He was also so confident, too. I appreciated it.
I don't know how I can say it anymore. This movie is the most retarded thing to ever...
Hey, man! Don't say that word! What are you talking about? Come on! We can't be using those words here.
...exist. Genuinely. I've watched
Genuinely, apparently.
a lot of movies from many different countries, time periods. I'm not bragging here. I'm just saying that I know that Superman is probably in the top 3 worst of all of them. Forget every crappy B movie ever made. Forget, like, I don't know.
Do you hate the B movie? What, is B movie too woke for you? I've never heard anyone say B movie is too woke. Alright, man. I mean, if B movie is woke for you, like, what? Bro, we're gonna get to a point where breathing is gonna be too woke for these guys. How much do you guys want to bet? Like, you take it, breathe in and breathe out, and they're like, oh my god, it's woke! It's too fucking woke! And then they're gonna make, like, a whole fucking 10-minute think piece about it.
Plan 9 from Outer Space being the worst movie ever made. This is it right here. You thought Marvel humor was bad. Well, they have so much of it that you want to die. It literally has some of the worst CGI in a new movie, and I'm not alone on this.
Listen, I'm not really an expert on CGI, so I can't really say for certain whether it was bad or not. I didn't think there was anything too bad about it. You want to see bad CGI, like watch Shark Boy and Lava Girl. That shit was very cheesy. Not to say that that was a bad movie, but like you gotta admit, the CGI in that movie was very cheesy. It was very, very cheesy. But I guess I'm pretty sure it was like an early 2000s movie, so it kind of gets a pass. Not maybe, I don't know. But like I don't know. I didn't think the CGI was that bad in this movie.
Just look at the reviews. So people will jump to Rotten Tomatoes right here and try to prove me wrong, saying that, what are you saying, little bro? The movie is a success.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that Rotten Tomatoes is not always the best source for reviews. You can rely on Google reviews, you can do Metacritic. There's like a whole ton of other different like sources you can use to review the movie. This is why you don't just rely on one source to review something. You always get many different perspectives and many different sources to review something. I mean, yeah, it seems like they liked it a lot. Again, I thought it was alright. I did not get the impression that Superman was too woke at all. I really don't know where people are getting that from, but okay.
95 on the audience score. Everybody loves it. I looked through that audience score. It was a big load of bots that loved Crypto, the little cute dog, which was one of the most retarded parts about
Hey man, stop saying that word!
the entire movie. You come over to a real source like, I don't know, Empire Magazine, and they have it rated 2 out of 5 stars, saying exactly what I'm saying. The movie is so messy and garbage. The end of the movie is just a CGI mess. The Guardian, 2 out of 5 stars. I don't really know what people are seeing here, but it's getting destroyed. Another news source says it's painfully mediocre.
Painfully mediocre? Well, he gave it 2.5 stars. I mean, okay. What was the other review that you showed?
CGI mess. The Guardian.
Again, I don't think the CGI is that bad. Alright, we'll keep watching.
Another news source says it's painfully mediocre. Another news source rates it 2.5 stars out of 5. I don't know what I'm missing here. The movie isn't some 10 out of 10.
Okay, so just because you looked at 2 reviews that said it was terrible doesn't necessarily mean that it was terrible. You probably just cherry-picked like the very few bad reviews that you could find from it. But there are a lot of people who seem to really enjoy it as well, you know? You seem to hate it because it's too woke, that there's a lesbian character in the movie, that there's like all these things, like that Crypto was a terrible dog to add, the CGI was terrible, that Lex Luthor is like Donald Trump even though he very clearly isn't, but okay.
Everybody knows it's spasticated. You just don't want to hear it. Now, I'd love to go in depth and show everything on screen, but I just need to tell you, for the people who haven't watched this movie, how ridiculously bad this is. For the first hour of the movie, Superman is on the ground screaming and whining. That's not a joke, it's not rage bait. He literally doesn't get up off of the ground for a full 60 minutes.
Well, he's not whining. I mean, there are times where he does get beat up in this movie quite a bit. And then he has to use, like, solar energy to, like, repower himself and heal himself. But it's like, I don't know, I feel like whining is a bit of an exaggeration. I saw the movie, so I literally can tell you, like, based on what I saw, it's not a detriment to the movie at all.
He's in some pocket wormhole universe, and in that universe, Lex Luthor, who is terrible and gay, by the way, for some reason...
First of all, he's not gay. There's nothing in the movie that would even indicate that whatsoever. Second of all, even if he was, who cares? Who gives a fuck? Listen, if he was gay, I clearly missed it, because there's nothing there that indicates that at all. Why even mention this? Why even bring this up? To me, this is a fucking self-report, because it was not in the movie. I must have missed it, clearly, because there's no scene where he's kissing a guy. There's no scene where he's like has like a male partner or whatever. We don't even know if he has a wife. We don't know if he has any partner for that matter. So like the fact that you included this at all is I can only interpret it as a massive self-report.
He just shows up and shows Superman that everybody online trying to cancel Superman, typing angry comments, aren't actually real. They're a big load of monkeys typing at a keyboard. No, that's not a joke. I didn't make that up. James Gunn is saying that everybody hating and review bombing Superman are monkeys.
So that's not what James Gunn is saying, just to be clear. The point of that scene was Lex Luthor had a bunch of monkeys review bombing, or not really review bombing, they were canceling Superman, right? Superman had, like, okay, I'm about to give some spoilers, so if you don't want any spoilers for the Superman movie, I would say click off now, or skip ahead. That's all I can say. But, basically, there's a scene where Superman, his original parents, his biological parents, were, they sent him there because he wanted, they think that humans are beneath them, essentially, and he had a completely different mission than what Superman had in mind. Superman doesn't actually want to kill humans, he actually wants to do good, right? That's generally who Superman always is. It's not even like a virtue signal or anything. Like, Superman genuinely, like, cares about, like, doing good. But his parents, biological parents, had completely different goals in mind. And then when you, like, say that monkeys are doing it because it's James Gunn insulting all the people that are giving bad reviews, that was not the point. It's actually the point of that scene was to show that it was supposed to, like, give, like, a modernized take on, like, cancel culture and people making fun of people on Twitter, which, by the way, I would say James Gunn got correct. That, like, there are a lot of people who are like that. You're probably one of those people, just to be clear, who, like, hate the movie. But no, it's not about people that are review bombing. Like, literally, Lex Luthor is running, like trying to cancel Superman and turn people against him because he's, like, this mastermind that wants to defeat Superman. That was the whole point of that, to begin with. It's not making fun of people reviewing the movie. I don't really know what else to tell you.
So let me just do the math real quick. He's not only calling me and everybody who doesn't like the movie a monkey. If you're an Indian kid or if you're a black person...
Oh my god! Being Indian and black has nothing to do with it! What do you mean? Being Indian and black has nothing to do with being a review. Why is that the first thing that you're going to, by the way? Like, just to be clear, why is someone being a different skin color than white, like, is the first thing that your mind goes to? Again, this is just you self-reporting. This guy has very clearly got, like, some prejudiced beliefs, like, behind the scenes. I wouldn't doubt it.
Who said something on Twitter against James Gunn, he thinks you're a monkey.
Okay, I think that's more... I feel like you think that more than James Gunn thinks that, but alright.
That's really not a good look. And speaking of not good looks, David Corn Sweat looks about 400 pounds in the terribly made suit.
Not really. I'm not seeing it. He doesn't look like Boogie 2988 here. That's... Jesus Christ. We're really sensationalizing this entire review now, huh?
There's kids all over this movie. Why do you ask? Because it's a James Gunn production. And we'll just pretend like this guy isn't a freak.
Okay, dude. Now we're calling James Gunn a pedophile. Jesus Christ, man. You're fucking insane, Mr. Ranting Revengeance. Like, first, there's lesbians in the movie. That's terrible. Lex Luthor is allegedly gay. That's apparently bad, even though he isn't. Basically, if you're black and Indian, James Gunn is calling you a monkey, so we're accusing James Gunn of being racist, even though that's probably what you think, and now we're accusing James Gunn of being a pedophile. So, great stuff. We're only like 5 minutes into this review, and we're off to a very fantastic start. You see what I did there? Terrible joke. It was a reference to his Fantastic Four review. Sorry, I have to explain the joke.
Every single person in Metropolis is Indian and play really big parts in the movie. Every single person in Metropolis is Indian. Just pretend like this guy.
Let me pause. Let me freeze frame it for a moment.
Person in
white person, 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 white person. I don't know what race this guy is. This guy's Indian. This guy I think is black, white person, and a black person. I only count one Indian here. I paused and counted them all, so...
Metropolis is Indian and play really big parts in the movie, like some random Indian convenience store worker or something.
So he was actually only in the movie for about like 3 scenes out of like the 2 hours 9 minutes of that whole movie. He was only in there for like 3 different parts of it. He was actually not a big part of that movie at all, so you're just straight up lying here.
Comes up and just says something to Superman and ends up in the plot of the movie. The dude is the linchpin of the entire movie. So
not really. He was only in like 3 fucking scenes. He was not the linchpin of the entire movie. What are you talking about? You're just lying here in your review. You're not even engaging in the review correctly. Like, I could understand if you don't like the movie for your own reasons and you gave like legitimate takes. But, like, I wouldn't expect someone who doesn't use fucking conditioner in their hair to give, like, a good review about this movie, I guess.
Somehow, some random taco vendor, forget what everybody is telling you, saying that Man of Steel and every other superhero movie is dark and gritty, and this one is hopeful and full of joy. Let's cut out the politics for a second. This is a disgrace to making movies in general.
I did not get that impression at all. Do you want to see like a disgrace to making movies? I guess Food Fight would be a good one. I don't know. I'm trying to think off the top of my head what are some really bad movies. I guess After Earth, that's like a popular one that people pick. That's like notoriously bad. Yeah.
Talk about how bad Deadpool and Wolverine was. It had no story. It was just cameos for the entire thing. This is the exact same and 10 times worse. I'm not overreacting and I'm not making a big deal out of it.
You definitely are.
This movie doesn't have a plot. It has no story. It has barely...
It definitely has a story. You probably just weren't paying attention to it. There are a lot of things that you can miss. I definitely missed a few parts of the story, but it definitely has a story, just to be clear. It doesn't have to have one that you like, but to say that it has no story, you're, again, just... You're sensationalizing your review. You're using very sensationalist language here.
Any redeeming elements. People make fun of it all the time. The American act...
People make fun of it all the time. The only people that I see making fun of the Superman movie are just people who seem to just hate woke stuff in like anything. Like anything that is remotely woke, they just immediately fucking hate. What, do you just want like white Christians in your movie? Like just all the time? You just want white Christians in the movie? That's your ideal perfect movie that you want, perfect media? Okay. Great stuff. Good self-report.
Acting legend Kevin Costner, who played Superman's dad in Man of Steel. And people are actually saying that these two random spastics that they have in Superman 2025 is somehow better. Watch the movie and tell me that his two parents aren't extremely retarded. What?
Whoa, man. We gotta stop using that word. Stop using that word. It's crazy that you keep using it.
Why are they two backwards rednecks who I do not care about? The only few things I can think of...
Well, you don't seem to care about the movie, because if you did, then you would actually be engaging with it in good faith. And so far, you were 6 minutes into this review, and you haven't been arguing in good faith at all. You've actually gotten a lot of information wrong up until this point.
That are semi-even passable was Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner, which was funny because the dude was just a douchebag. And Lois Lane and Clark Kent weren't really that bad, except for when Clark had an autistic meltdown and his voice went so high-pitched, like some little bitch. And
autism bad, apparently.
Lois Lane goes off on a monologue about fake punk rock. Superman is sipping cocoa and crying his eyes out for the entire movie.
The entire movie, just to be clear. So, there's an Indian character for the entire movie, there's a lesbian character for the entire movie, and now he's sipping and crying his eyes out for the entire movie, now he's getting beat up for the entire movie. Which one is it, man? You can't have it like 4 different ways at once. Like, which one is it?
You see here, we're going to be getting spin-offs with Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific, that was his name. Yeah, this guy was cool. I liked this guy a lot. He was badass. I really liked him. And apparently he was in the comics, too. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff.
And Jimmy Olsen. These people weren't scene stealers, like people are going to try to tell you online. Mr. Terrific was...
They were definitely scene stealers. Mainly Mr. Terrific, I would say. Not so much Jimmy Olsen. Yeah, Mr. Terrific was definitely, like, a huge part in the movie, I would say. Like, he goes with Lois Lane to find Superman, and then he, you know, he has that badass fight scene before they go into the pocket dimension. That was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that a lot.
Some black dude who had some ridiculously...
Black people in movies bad, apparently. Okay.
caricature act.
Wasn't there like a black character in like some of the original Superman comics? Wasn't there like a black character in some of those? So what, are you gonna call that out for being woke, or are you just gonna keep trying to dog whistle your prejudice here?
Accent of like a preacher down south, and also he had more screen time than Superman. And the same goes for Jimmy Olsen, who was acting really weird throughout the entire movie. Like, all these girls wanted to go out with him, and the dude was just acting gay, like he didn't want any.
Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. This review, man. I don't know if I can. It's like, it's 12 minutes in total. We're 7 minutes through. I don't know if I can finish this review, man. I don't know, dude. It's just, there's so much wrong with this review. It's insane.
Pardon it. Oh yeah, and he also had more screen time than Superman. And James Gunn and DC are
no, that's definitely not true. He was there for a couple of scenes. He did not have more screen time than Superman.
Talking here about how they're going to be making tons of new TV shows and movies, bringing together the Justice League.
Hooray for the 15th reboot of the DC Universe. Hooray! I have lost track.
I don't know how anybody could be excited for this after watching Superman. The Hall of Justice was Guy Gardner, Mr. Terrific, and Hawkgirl sitting around in a massive empty room. And you see some handicap here. Don't let any...
Some handicap? What the fuck? Okay, you're just actually being, like, listen, up until this point, you were dog whistling your ableism, and now that's, like, just straight up ableist. I'm not, like, there's no other interpretation to take from that. I'm sorry, like, that is just, like, actually just straight up ableist. You said some handicap, as if they're, like, a lesser than to normal people. Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Dude, who the fuck beat this kid up as a child? Maybe he wasn't beat up enough as a child, I don't know. Also, little side note, unrelated to the video, this guy's dad has a YouTube channel, by the way, and apparently his dad makes content, and he is, like, super red-pilled. Like, insanely fucking red-pilled. So, yeah, take that as you will, I guess. Great family, I suppose.
Nobody tell you nobody cares about Superman. Are you blind? I just showed you 20 reviews from massive news sources.
You showed us 2, and you cherry-picked them very obviously, when a lot of them weren't actually that, a lot of the reviews weren't that bad. The only bad reviews seem to be, mostly, I would say, from people who are just anti-woke or hate wokeness in Superman, even though the movie was hardly woke at all. I did not get that impression whatsoever.
That all just said it was a 2 out of 5. This isn't The Dark Knight. This isn't Iron Man. It isn't even Man of Steel. And it definitely isn't Christopher Reeve in Superman the movie. This isn't even an 8 out of 10. It's like, I don't know, a 1 out of...
Wah, 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 wah. That's literally ranting for vengeance right now. This freeze frame could be good for the thumbnail, but I don't know. I'll consider it, I guess.
10. This isn't a movie. It's a big load of CGI for 2 hours. And this story just came out that Ta-Nehisi Coates was gonna make a black Superman movie. And it actually got cancelled because they realized that it was too woke.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Like, me personally, hot take, I don't mind race swapping characters as long as you make that character cool. Right? For example, in the new HBO Harry Potter series that's supposed to be coming out, Professor Snape is going to be black. They're race swapping him. Me personally, I don't really, as long as they don't make him being black like his entire personality, I really don't care. Like, they can give like a cool new backstory and everything. And I know people are going to tie to the Magneto argument and be like, oh, but Magneto from X-Men, his whole backstory is about being Jewish. And like, you know, his family survived the Holocaust and all that stuff. Listen, if you give them a cool new backstory and you make it work in the movie, I really don't care. Like, I really just don't. Like, as long as they don't make being black, being non-binary, being trans or whatever, as long as they don't make that their entire personality and they don't make, like, do, like, Dragon Age Veilguard levels of uncomfortableness, it does not matter. It really does not matter at all.
Nobody wants to watch some civil rights activist black race swapped Superman.
Okay, Jesus Christ. White Christians in movies. That's the dog whistle here. Hey, add white Christians in movies. Nothing woke. No wokeness. That's their vision of what should be in movies, by the way, just to be clear.
At the end, as a little caveat, James Gunn will still probably make the movie in the future. Who wants that? I don't even want David Corn Sweat Superman. That was the non-woke version.
The non-woke version. The non... Okay, whatever. I don't even care anymore at this point.
With the two warring factions and countries that definitely don't represent a certain conflict in the Middle East that's happening right now. Don't try to...
Sorry, I accidentally sped it up there. You mean Israel and Palestine? I would argue that one of the countries represented Russia more than anything else. Like, I don't know, I guess, like, Russia maybe attacking fucking Mujahideens or, like, having some conflict with the Middle East, which I think did happen at one point, like, within history. But, like, one of the countries definitely had, like, more Russian influence, just to be clear. That's the vibe I got. The architecture represented, like, a lot more Russian influence. So, I don't know, dude. I definitely didn't get the vibe that it was from Israel, Palestine.
Tell me that this movie isn't woke or not political. If you think that, go screw yourself.
Oh, I guess I'm screwing myself. Also, that is a tiny middle finger. Is that the size of your penis? Jesus Christ.
It is. The entire movie is about Trump, immigrants, and as I just mentioned, other conflicts in other countries. I really don't...
if you say so, ranting for vengeance.
I don't know what I'm missing here. This movie was the biggest heap of shit
You're missing a lot, clearly. You're missing quite a lot.
I've ever watched. At first I found it funny to just laugh at it from the trailers, but watching it, it was just so bad I couldn't even believe it. How did a movie like this ever get greenlit? So much focus on comedy and random
because it was not as bad as you're making it out to be. That's how it was greenlit.
Dogs banging into people and Superman whining and screaming and crying. This is beyond Marvel humor. I don't think anybody could excuse this. Superman
it's really not that deep, actually. Fun fact. I know that's very alien to you. Just like anything that is even remotely woke, any like LGBTQ representation is considered woke in a movie or a media. That's considered alien to you, apparently. There's a lot that seems to be alien to you. I guess you have a lot to learn, my guy.
Is an objectively terrible movie. If you're a movie critic or you consider yourself anti-woke and you're saying that this movie is just okay, it's not even that bad, it's not even woke, I don't know what's wrong with you up here, but you need to wake up. What?
Wake up. See the veil unfold before your eyes. Yeah, I mean, if anti-woke people are even saying it's not that woke, which there definitely are a lot of people that are saying it's too woke when that definitely is just not the case, I don't know what to tell you. I mean...
Humanity was just non-existent with James Gunn's Superman. Do not watch this movie. Do not take your kids...
Too late.
...to go see it. It's filled with a big load of unnecessary cursing and political...
Cursing is bad in movies now! Oh my god. Is this guy religious? I'm curious. I actually don't know if, like, this ranting for vengeance guy is, like, religious at all. Like, I'd be curious to know, like, is that why he thinks cursing is terrible and, like, the worst thing ever?
Agenda. They spent 20 minutes of the movie talking about Superman's harem. What the hell? Who wrote that in the script?
Damn, I guess you're jealous that he has a harem on him. You wish you could get in on that, but clearly women are gonna see this dried up hair with no conditioner and be like, yeah. Also, he's seems to be a very hateful person, seems to be very ableist in this review, and tons of other things. Yeah, probably not. Probably not. And they're making a good call. I can't say I blame them.
Superman's original parents and Krypton just go straight out the window. Spoiler alert, sorry to break it to you, but his parents are just evil for some reason. And
yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was that much of a detriment to the plot. No, I didn't hate that. It seems like they were planning that from the start too. You're like, there's definitely like subtle hints that like show that Superman's biological parents were evil to some extent.
His fake parents down on Earth are two handicaps.
Oh my god, fucking handicaps. This guy really hates people who are handicapped, people who have physical disabilities. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is wrong with you? Holy fuck, man. Oh my god, clearly this guy did not get beat up enough as a child. Seriously.
Of this movie is Superman flying into Lex Luthor's office and crying to him. And then Superman's dog knocks Lex Luthor over. That's every single scene. It ends with somebody getting knocked over, some cutaway to a Marvel humor joke, or
So
a cute
true,
little
King.
dog that we're all supposed to find funny. And at the end of the
So
movie,
true,
Supergirl
man.
shows up and calls Superman a bitch, and then gets knocked over by a dog.
So true, King. You got it, bro. W review, clearly.
I couldn't make this any more funny even if I wanted to, and it still has all the touches of a James Gunn disaster. The vile human piece of shit, James Gunn, and his brother both came out before this movie just a couple days ago and were laughing and sneering at everybody.
It is exactly what the movie is about, I think, that like we support our people, you know? We love
As in white people? No, it seems like Superman was supporting everybody. You know, that's his hero. Yeah, I don't know. It definitely didn't strike me as... I mean, we don't know if that's the interpretation. You're just sort of filling in the blanks here very blindly.
our immigrants. We love, yes, super.
Okay, well, he's talking about immigrants. Yeah, okay, who cares? Who cares? Who gives a fuck? He didn't make that the entire personality of the movie. It was just like a subplot part of the movie. It's like, that's... Who cares?
Superman is an immigrant. And yes, if you don't like that, then you're not American.
You said it's an
True. Very true, by the way.
immigrant story. It's a political movie. MAGA today is going nuts. What do you have to say to MAGA?
I don't have anything. I think this movie's for everybody. I don't have anything to say to anybody. Like, I'm not here.
MAGA today was getting a little upset that he called Superman an immigrant. I wanted to get your reaction.
See, like they're all laughing at how fucking ridiculous that idea is. Any normal person in the real world would look at that and be like, yeah, like listen, if you didn't like the Superman movie, that's fine. You know, that's your opinion. You didn't have to like it. I thought it was all right. I didn't think it was like amazing. I just thought it was all right. It was a little bit cheesy at times, but overall, I think for what it's worth, it's not a bad movie. It's so fucking weird to like go on this like anti-woke like rage fit over something so minor.
Somebody needs a hug.
True. Very true. Look at Ranting for Vengeance just seething in the text.
It's not review bombing, it's not Snyder cult. I do not care about Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. The dude is a terrible movie maker as well, but 10 trillion times better than James Gunn. Stop coping and saying that James Gunn is a great filmmaker. I've watched most of the guy's movies. Not one of them is good. Endless needle
So why do you watch them if you hate them so much?
drops with crappy music and Marvel humor does not make a good movie. This is not a new era of hope for the superhero. This is the end. If this is the best you can come up,
I mean, it seems like it's been the end for... Let's check your channel. Woke trash. They hate this. Woke shit. The truth. Not black enough. Woke shit. Reject wokeness. It's over. This is bad. Woke trash. This is shit. They are mad. The truth. The truth. True story. Disturbing. Meltdown. Woke garbage. Wasted potential. It seems like it's been the end for almost a year for you, Mr. Ranting for Vengeance. So, but I mean, it seems like you're doing your thing and you've got an audience cultivated of people that are just toxic crybabies over anytime a fucking trans person or a black person is on screen, like you guys just have a crybaby meltdown over it. So, I mean, okay. Incredible stuff. I'm glad we could have an intelligent conversation about this. Cool stuff, man.
with. I don't even know if you could call this filmmaking. I don't consider myself a critic. I'm not some pretentious douchebag who's gonna sit here and say that, oh, they didn't have the right camera work or the correct way of writing your movie. But to be honest, this movie had no structure and it was shot terribly. It's not.
Okay, how are you gonna say that I'm not going to understand that I have filmmaking experience or understand terrible work, but then earlier in this movie you proceed to say that there was no acting, and now you're going to say that the camera work was bad? I'm sorry. First of all, The camera work was actually pretty solid. There wasn't any shots that made me go, oh wow, that's such a beautiful shot in the movie. And this is coming from someone who has filmmaking background, by the way. There wasn't any like shot in the movie that was like, oh wow, this is so amazing. You know, like I didn't like go in awe at some of the shots, but like it was still shot pretty solidly. Like there was not a shot that was like, oh wow, this is shot terribly. I have seen movies that are shot not very well from like a filmmaking perspective. Now, sometimes it can be shot in a very specific way from an artistic perspective, because filmmaking is an art, but, like, again, that's, like, I don't know, I didn't think it was shot terribly. It just seems very strange. Like, this seems like such a pearl clutch, and you obviously don't have any filmmaking understanding at all, so I don't know why you said, I don't have filmmaking understanding, but then proceed to give, like, a filmmaking critique as if you know what you're talking about.
Not like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man one bit, and everybody who says that needs to go
Who the fuck is saying that? Where are you finding these people saying, it's like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, it's like Avengers, it's like as good as this movie, it's as good as this movie? You've been saying that this entire review, but you refuse to cite any fucking place where people are actually saying that. You want to know what I think? It's probably because your retelling of it is probably not very accurate. That's the only conclusion that I can draw, which is why you only showed 2 reviews of two bad reviews instead of saying I showed 20 of them, even though you only showed 2, and most of which are pretty solid reviews if you actually look them up. Again, the only people that are whining about this movie seem to be like anti-woke crybabies like yourself.
Prove themselves. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man is the example of what this should have been. This movie is not comic booky. There isn't one comic book where Superman gets
Yeah, well, guess what? The movie is titled Superman, not Spider-Man. Hope that helps.
his ass kicked by a dog, starts crying, then gets called a bitch to his face. It's not accurate to any comic book, it's just goofy and stupid and retarded. So
whoa, man! Stop using that word! Come on! Jesus Christ, this man loves his slurs and ableism. Holy shit.
Finally, for the last time, do not watch Superman.
Well, too late. I already did.
It's genuinely, truthfully, sincerely one of the worst things I've ever seen. And if you're
ever seen
a real fan that already knew that, then thanks for watching and maybe consider subscribing. And if you're one of those woke retards who like
whoa, man!
Stick it up your ass. Go complain to your boyfriend.
Okay. I guess I will complain to the boyfriend that I don't have. Alright. Okay, yeah, incredible stuff, I guess. Sure. Alright, so apparently, Ranting for Vengeance made a follow-up to this review. It's about 8 minutes long. We have it at 1.25 times speed now. And somehow his hair got even worse in this review. I don't know how he managed to do that, but, I guess mission accomplished. It's almost impressive, actually, how he managed to make his hair even worse than it was in the last video. But, let's just get started. It's only 8 minutes long, 8.5 minutes. Let's do this.
I wasn't going to make another video on Superman, but the box office and all the people freaking out online said otherwise. Most of the actors and the people who are making this movie have come out and said some of the most retarded things I've ever heard.
Whoa, man! Don't say that word! You gotta stop using that word.
But before we get into it, if you agree with anything I say, maybe consider subscribing, checking out my Twitter or my Patreon. So
why would I ever do any of those things? You very clearly are someone who just whines every time anything remotely woke is in a movie. You're... okay, bro. I guess if anyone deserves to be called a slur, it's you.
I have nothing more to say about the actual film of Superman. I already did a full review, but there seems to be a massive campaign all across the internet trying to make this movie seem like a massive success. And I'm not going to say that this movie is an entire flop and that nobody on planet Earth likes it, but for the most part...
Well, you definitely tried to make it seem that way in your first video, so I don't really think you have plausible deniability on that. It seems like we're just having a bit of revisionist history here.
This movie sucks, and most people know it. For the past few days...
Most people know it, okay. Well, most of the reviews say otherwise, so...
some of the actors and James Gunn himself has come out and said some stuff that just needs to be called out. I don't care if you like the movie or not. James Gunn deserves nobody's respect. You can't say that he's a great filmmaker. What movies has he made? Guardians 1, 2...
Well, you don't respect... I guess you could say that you respect James Gunn as much as you respect your hair here.
and 3. All it did was push the Marvel humor that destroyed Marvel and DC. And I've seen most of James Gunn's other movies besides that, and none of them are really great movies. And not to mention what the dude has said in the past, and people love leaving...
Oh yeah, oh, this dumb tweet. Yeah, this fucking tweet has already been addressed a million times. Like, listen, it was literally conservatives that pulled up this old tweet to try to get him fired, and then James Gunn got fired, and then they brought him back. All this was a terrible fucking joke that was in 2009. Like, why are we pulling up old fucking tweets of old jokes that people are making? Like, what are you talking about? It's just such a dumb, bad faith argument that you guys always use as like a gotcha, but it really is not working the way you think it is. Just like, shut up. Stop being such a fucking baby. Like, be quiet.
Comments on Twitter posts and videos like mine saying that you're just like Lex Luthor and you're just like the monkeys in the movie. The real army of bots.
Well, you definitely are acting like them, even if that wasn't James Gunn's original intention in the movie.
Are the people loving this and trying to make it sound good. And the real Lex Luthor is the guy who talks about kids in a really weird way. And he came out talking about superhero fatigue and said the usual cope.
What? What was that?
He's in the movie. The real army of bots are the people loving this and trying to make it sound good. And the real Lex Luthor is the guy who talks about kids in a really weird way. And
Real Lex Luthor is the guy who talks about kids in a weird way. I don't know what the fuck you mean by that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't understand your point there. Like, you actually have me a little bit stumped, because I don't know what you're talking about.
he came out talking about superhero fatigue and said the usual cope, saying that I don't believe in superhero fatigue, I just believe in bad movie fatigue.
I don't believe in superhero fatigue. I think there's, mediocre movie fatigue.
I mean, there's a level of truth to that. Have you seen some of the later Marvel movies? Like, I feel like Marvel should have just ended their cinematic universe after Endgame, but it's very clear that they wanted more money in it. I think stuff like Spider-Man No Way Home is, like, good. You know, like, some of the additional, like, Spider-Man movies they did was cool. But aside from that, like, I feel like at some point Marvel just needs to, like, they just need to know when to stop and not to overstay their welcome. But they obviously aren't going to do that because there's a lot of money in it.
Adult male is chasing a female with intent to commit rape. I shoot the bastard, that's my policy.
If that's true, if you actually believe that, then your movie is just part of both of those categories. Not only
I don't know what your point is here, but okay, if you say so, ranting revengeance, you are spewing gospel, Mr. King.
it doesn't not work as a superhero movie, it's also just a bad movie. I just think that there's a fatigue of people like James Gunn and the type of movies that they make. And
I certainly have a fatigue of anti-woke people and constantly watching your dog shit fucking videos, that's for sure. The only reason I'm doing it is because it's free content, and I can make free content off of your videos, but still.
the way that they speak about fans, sneering and laughing at people who are MAGA and people that they don't agree with and people who aren't immigrants.
Well, just to be clear, MAGA people are fucking, like, actually stupid people. Just to be clear. Like, MAGA, like, listen, if you're a normal conservative and, like, you voted Trump, like, that's fine, whatever, like, difference in opinion. But if you're MAGA, you are part of a cult. You are part of a cult that is, like, really stupid. Now, to be clear, like, Trump is obviously falling off, and, like, you know, MAGA, like, a lot of MAGA is turning against Trump. But, like, again, we don't need to go into that, but still, like, you're just... we clearly know where you're biased. Definitely not a biased review here.
The final time, this dude does not deserve anybody's respect. He's just some spastic who needs to be put in prison. And now we get onto the...
Put in prison. The insinuation there, by the way, is that James Gunn is a pedophile. He's been insinuating that in the last review. He's insinuating it here by showing the old fucking tweet that James Gunn made, even though it was obviously a bad joke. I agree it was not good, but he didn't deserve to be fired over it. It was an old tweet. It was a bad fucking joke. That's all this was. Shut the fuck up. Stop engaging in bad faith, you fucking idiot.
Actor who played Mr. Terrific. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his foreign name, but people hailed
Oh my god. Fucking DEI bad.
him as the scene stealer and this awesome badass in the movie. Who the hell is Mr. Terrific? I'm a comic book fan and I know that Mr. Terrific should not be the standout in a Superman movie. That's not a plus for the movie, saying that
Who cares?
he was great. Superman shouldn't have been on the ground screaming and crying. But it says here that he
Who cares?
hopes that Mr. Terrific encourages kids to embrace their intellect and nerdiness. And I'm not even going to read all of it out. I just have to read out the starting bit where he just accidentally slips up and says what he really feels.
What are you talking about?
There's an opportunity to create new norms for kids. Black kids, but also all kids. See how he had to backpedal because he was talking about black kids. That's all he cares about.
What? Hold on. So, Eddie Gathegi, I'm so sorry if I butchered your name, by the way. Gathegi, says he hopes Mr. Terrific makes an impact to the show, to show kids to embrace their intellect or nerdiness. There's an opportunity to create new norms for kids, black kids, but also all kids, who are told they're too smart, too nerdy, or too quiet. Mr. Terrific inspires them to feel like they can be themselves. It's their intellect that's powerful. Yeah, okay, who cares? Who gives a fuck? What do you think there's like an insidious intent with this tweet? Is that what you're trying to imply here, Mr. Ranting for Vengeance? Like, what is the fucking, what are you talking about?
Slips up and says what he really feels. There's an opportunity to create new norms for kids, black kids, but also all kids.
Oh my god, they're grooming children. Oh no, they're grooming children into liking black people. They're grooming children into being smart. Oh no, it's the worst thing ever. They're grooming kids in this movie. Oh no, I have to fucking cry and then hide my fucking tears behind my non-conditioner hair and shit. Oh no. Oh.
See how he had to backpedal because he was talking about black kids. That's all he cares about, and he had to say, "Oh yeah, and also all kids." The fact
okay, so another DEI bad moment. Got it.
that this guy has more screen time and more action than Superman is not only cringe, but also why the hell is this guy allowed to be the star of a Superman DC comic book?
Who cares? His fight scene was cool. And also, Superman got time to shine in the action movie as well. He had some pretty badass fight scenes, especially towards the end of the movie. But you're not going to talk about that because you're trying to just say that DEI is bad, which I don't know what you're on about, but okay.
Movie that a lot of white kids are going to watch. And the funny part is, he doesn't give a crap about any of them. And speaking of which, he just signed a multi-project deal with DC. And this might sound like I'm in the wrong.
Where does he say he doesn't give a crap about them? And also, I don't care if he signs multi-projects with DC. He was good in the movie. I enjoyed him. I really liked his presence. If we see more of him, that's pretty fucking cool to me. I might go watch those movies. Who cares? Why do you care so much?
And it's going to be a massive success. But the thing is, no sane, normal person liked Mr. Terrific when he stole the movie from Superman.
Well, would you say a sane, normal person would make their entire channel based on hating DEI and woke stuff in other movies? Would you say a sane, normal person would do something like that? I don't know. I would say no, but I guess that's very clearly a difference in perspective, Mr. Ranting for Vengeance. Fix your hair, by the way, please. Holy shit.
Arrogant black guy who in real life basically just admits that all he cares about is black kids. So you can have 10 movies and TV shows made. Nobody's actually going to want to watch them. And speaking of stuff that...
If you say so.
Nobody's going to watch, you have this weird gay artwork here that Pedro Pascal shared.
Gay is bad now. Gay is the derogatory word here. Also, yeah, I remember. Like, dude, this guy made a review about Pedro Pascal in Fantastic Four, and he literally was saying, I don't want some Mexican in this movie. I don't want to know about immigration and fucking Mexico in this movie. We want the real comic book based Fantastic Four. I'm like, okay, bud, yeah, cool stuff, I guess. You know, I already explained the whole race swapping perspective, so I'm not going to go into it again here, but alright.
Thinking that it was cool, but really it just showed that he's retarded and whoever made this is also retarded. It's
Whoa, man, you gotta stop using these words!
Superman and Fantastic Four, the two logos blending together to create something that looks like a gay flag. I remember how I just told you, like, for a
that looks nothing like a gay flag. What are you talking about? There's blue here. There's yellow here. There's red. This looks nothing like a gay flag. Please explain to me how this looks like a gay flag to me. Like, honestly, please. All it is the Fantastic Four logo and the Superman logo together, and it so happens to create this color scheme. That is it. Explain to me how this looks like a gay flag. Honestly, please.
It just showed that he's retarded and whoever made
Stop it!
This is also retarded.
Stop using those words!
It's Superman and Fantastic Four, the two logos blending together to create something that looks like a gay flag. I remember how I just told you, like, for a minute straight, why James Gunn does not deserve any respect, because the guy is a sick human being. Yeah, well,
yeah, okay. He keeps trying to, like, load this conversation by accusing James Gunn of being a pedophile, just to be clear. I bet if you cared about kids, you would go after religion, which are constantly, more often than not, indoctrinating kids to, like, going through religious trauma, and are more likely to be victims of fucking pedophilia, just to be clear. But we're not going to see any noise for that, apparently. We're just going to take old tweets from James Gunn out of context and say, yep, that's evidence that he's a pedophile, and he's trying to appeal to kids, that means he's also a pedophile. Okay, bro, yeah. Glad that you're engaging with this intelligently.
Handicapped people online who love to cry Snyder.
Fucking handicapped people. This guy, like, literally the insinuations. Okay, so black people bad, lesbians bad, gayness bad, immigration bad. What else do we have? James Gunn's a pedophile. Handicap people bad. Holy fuck, we're really just going down the grocery shopping list here.
Cult and incels, and hey, you're just like Lex Luthor's monkeys. They are defending him.
Well, yeah, I mean, they would definitely be correct in that assertion.
Saying that is perfectly normal, what he was saying in the past. Oh yeah, and before we get on to that, just like...
No one was defending what James Gunn said in the past. The only defense that they were saying was that it was 9 years ago. And when they say it's normal, they mean that, like, the edgy humor of it was definitely normalized back then, which it was. They are correct in that assertion. There was a lot of fucking edgy humor back in like 2009 and in early 2000s or whatever, which again, we definitely shouldn't have done. Was it appropriate? No, absolutely not. But also, it was years ago and people have time to fucking change. And obviously, James Gunn was not trying to fucking abuse a child. It's very clear from that tweet that that was not his intention. Not a good tweet. You know, definitely not good. But again, like, it's an old tweet, and he's probably changed since then. So, like, shut the fuck up. Stop arguing in bad faith.
Quick thing, there is no such thing as a Snyder cult. Yeah, there's a few people out there who thinks that the Snyderverse is going to come back, which it just is not. That's just stupid. But the reality is, it's a fake opposition created to make divide. There is no Snyder fanboys versus the Gunn fanboys. The Snyder fanboys do not exist. I watched Man of Steel a couple of days ago. It was 10 times better than Superman 2025, but still sucked. So nobody here is saying that we need to bring back Zack Snyder. No, Zack Snyder sucked and so did James Gunn. Bring in somebody who can actually make a movie. Oh yeah, and also somebody who isn't obsessed with kids.
Shut the fuck up with this insinuation. Okay, like, shut up. It's obviously not true.
Gunn gotta be the only dude I'm glad we saved from cancel culture, laughing my effing ass off.
Okay, well, obviously there have been a lot of people that have been falsely canceled in the past, so, definitely a little bit of a... I mean, I don't know. I would say that James Gunn wouldn't be the only one I'm glad we saved from cancel culture, but, like, still...
It's not really cancel culture, it's just basic human morals. Don't say edgy humor, and don't say that James Gunn was just making jokes and it was 15 years ago or...
That's exactly what it was.
Whatever. This dude is a freak, I don't care...
That's exactly what it was. Can you show us evidence that James Gunn's a fucking pedophile? Can you show any fucking evidence of that? Like, any legitimate evidence that isn't him, quote-unquote, trying to appeal to kids, which is your assertion of it, or just an old tweet that was obviously an edgy joke that was, like, literally 16 years ago?
What anybody tells me, and if you're defending James Gunn, then you're also a freak.
Shut the fuck up. Shut up, dude. Like, literally, this is coming from the same person who says DEI in a movie is bad, and he whines every time he sees anything remotely woke. So, like, shut the fuck up. You're such an idiot.
Also saw this random deluded spastic talking about that scene where Superman and Lois have an introspective conversation with 2 cups of cocoa talking about punk rock. And no, not the badass punk rock which started off right wing. I know that's gonna trigger a lot of
oh my god. Badass punk rock that started off right wing. Okay, yeah. Definitely not a dog whistle there.
Talking about punk rock. And no, not the badass punk rock which started off right wing. I know that's gonna trigger a lot of retards out
Whoa, man!
there, but it's the truth. They're talking about some made up punk that just doesn't exist. Superman and Lois agree that maybe being kind is the real punk rock. That might be what Green Day thinks, where you have to be kind to people to be punk rock, but really it's the...
I don't think Green Day has ever said that, just to be clear. Green Day has, like, many different messages within their music, and I'm sure there are right-winged people that do like Green Day, but... whatever. Okay, whatever. I don't even care anymore. This guy is obviously just like, there's so much wrong with both of these interviews, or fucking reviews, not interviews. Ugh. My brain it's really frying my brain just watching both of these.
Opposite. Screw your movie, screw James Gunn, and if you talk like this, you're special needs. That's punk.
Your special needs if you talk like this, by the way. So just to be clear, the insinuation is that people who have are part of the IDD community, or people who've got a disability are lesser than most people. That's the insinuation there. Alright, bud. Yeah, you got it, dude. White Christians for days in movies. That's what you want in your movies. Okay. Great stuff, bro. Glad that you're being very intelligent in these reviews.
Rock right there, just for an example. And when Superman said that crap in the movie about being kind as punk rock, some dude behind this guy in the theater said, what an effing loser. When I first read this, I fell onto the ground laughing. Whoever that was an absolute chad, and had the balls to just say out in the middle of the movie theater, what an effing loser.
This guy doesn't like fucking cursing either. Just say fucking. Why do you hate cursing? Is it 'cause you're religious?
Because Superman does not drink cocoa and cry.
It would not surprise me if Ranting for Vengeance was religious, by the way. It would not shock me in the slightest. I wouldn't doubt it.
And talk about kindness. He can do that maybe when his entire family gets wiped out and something horrible happens to him. Not when there's a battle going on behind him and he's just not even getting involved. He's just gonna sit down and drink some cocoa. That's extremely gay.
That's not... Okay, first of all, it's not gay. What the fuck are you talking about? Second of all, in the movie, he was drinking cocoa. There was no battle going on amidst anything. Like, he was drinking cocoa and having a conversation with Lois, and it was still in the beginning... Or Lois Lane. That was the name of the character. And there wasn't even a battle at that point. It was still the exposition of the movie. They were still setting that up. What do you want him to do? What, like, it's like, it doesn't matter what they fucking do. You're just gonna sit here and fucking whine about it and bitch about it because DEI bad in movies, apparently. This guy is actually so fucking... I don't expect him to understand it. Clearly, he's not intelligent enough to engage in any fucking conversation. Also, fix your teeth, by the way, bud. Just saying. Go to a dentist, please.
And his name should be Soyman. There's articles
Yeah, whatever, dude.
all over the place here talking about Superman, how people are saying it's a massive box office hit, breaking records, it's the biggest movie of all time. But in reality, there's no conspiracy theory, there's no rage bait, no Snyder cult, it's actually just a flop. The international box office only made 95 million, which is funny when you actually look into it and see how much they spent, how much time and money went into the marketing for this piece of crap. All you have to do is open up your eyes all across Twitter, TikTok,
My eyes are open. Trust me. Ranting for Vengeance. My eyes are open.
YouTube, TV. There's just constant ads and stuff about Superman. And the same goes for Fantastic Four. This isn't natural. This is Warner Brothers trying to make up for the fact that nobody wants to watch some gay Superman. They're putting a million ads and interviews out into the internet thinking that people will actually care. And Variety here says that Superman cost 225 million to make and roughly 100 million to promote. Now that's Variety, and that was just a number at the time. I've heard some people, now this might sound crazy, saying that it spent like 200 or 300 million to market this piece of shit. And I won't really argue with that because it really does seem the case. And once again, no rage bait, doesn't that make the movie an absolute flop? It's crazy how this record-breaking movie is actually just some flop that
You got it, Ranting for Vengeance. Yeah, it's such a flop, dude. You got it, bro.
everybody is destroying. I showed it last time, all these different sources, Empire Magazine, giving the movie a 2 out of 5. It's a bloated mess and it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And in summary, some random retarded black guy who plays Mr. Terrific only cares about black kids and he's gonna be getting 50 movies. Then
God. Alright. A lot of things they said wrong there, but I'm kind of just fatigued with this video. There's so many things that were wrong about it, but I just don't care anymore. I'm obviously, like, you're obviously going to be deadlocked on your juvenile perspective, so there's no point in even, like, trying to debunk it anymore.
you have Jimmy Olsen, who's acting really gay and strange. He's also going to be getting 60 movies. James Gunn is a sneering, spasticated freak. David Cornsweet is still on the ground.
When he says freak, he's dog whistling that James Gunn is a pedophile, by the way. Every time he calls James Gunn a freak. I hope we understand this.
Crying and screaming as we speak, and they've spent like $500,000 to make this piece of shit that nobody even cares about. So the Lex Luthor monk
Yeah, well, the reviews and the amount of the box office says otherwise, but okay. I mean, we'll just keep selectively adding whatever information we want into our brains. That's what we're doing here.
monkeys and the Snyder cults, you can laugh about it all you want. In a couple weeks, this movie's gonna be forgotten about, and it's hilarious. So if you agree with anything I said,
Couldn't you say that about any movie, though? Like, that's how movies are. Like, a movie comes out, people watch it, and, like, no one really talks about it as much anymore. That's the natural course for every movie. It's like that in Avengers Endgame. It's like that for every Superman movie. Like, yes, people go back and watch them, but, like, people don't talk about it to the same level of when a movie first comes out. You're just describing basic, natural ebbs and flows of when a movie first releases, and, like, natural hype that happens when a movie releases. This is normal stuff. So you're just laughing at stuff that would happen anyway. Alright, dude. Yeah, I mean, we'll just pearl clutch at anything, I guess.
and you saw that this movie sucked, then do let me know and maybe consider subscribing. And if you're one of those dense freaks out there who like this, go complain to your boyfriend.
Yeah, I'll gladly complain to my boyfriend. Alright, this review was fucking terrible. It was easily one of the worst movie reviews I think I've ever seen in my life, and I don't even think I'm exaggerating. It's actually, like, miserable to sit through all this.